You're listening to the Vale This Week from Bro Radio. We've got a busy week for you this week. We'll look ahead to some events taking place, including Penarth Operatic and Dramatic Society's production of We Will Rock You, the return of Barry Card and Collecticon on Saturday and Sunday at Barry's Memo Arts Centre, plus Gwyl Fach Fro and the Barry Island 10K taking place this weekend on Barry Island. First though, in what's been the biggest week for Welsh politics since the start of devolution, let's look back on last week's Senedd election. Plaid Cymru are now the largest party in Cardiff Bay, securing 43 seats. The party's leader, Rhynab Iorwerth, was elected as First Minister during the first meeting of the Senedd on Tuesday. It turned out to be a disappointing result for Welsh Labour, who saw their number of seats plummeting down to 9, including former First Minister Eluned Morgan losing her seat in West Wales. They secured just 2 seats more than the Welsh Conservatives, who secured 7 across Wales. The other big winners were Reform UK, securing 34 seats, making them the second largest party in the Senedd and the official opposition. One other party celebrating her historic win is the Green Party. They secured their first 2 Senedd seats, with party leader Anthony Slaughter winning in Caerdydd Penarth and Paul Rock in Caerdydd Ffon and Taff. Bro Radio's Oliver Perry sat down with Anthony Slaughter, MS, in the Senedd Gallery earlier this week.
Last week's elections saw drastic changes all across Wales, with Plaid Cymru and Reform now being the largest parties in the Senedd. One of the other changes, however, was that of the emergence of the Welsh Greens, with party leader Anthony Slaughter being elected from his Caerdydd Penarth constituency, making this the first time a Green candidate has entered the Welsh Parliament. He will also be joined by fellow Green Paul Rock from the Caerdydd Ffon and Taff constituency. I had the chance to sit down with Anthony and ask him a few questions on his campaign and what he hopes to now achieve as an elected member to the Senedd. So Anthony, thanks for joining us here today for the show, The Vale This Week. What does it feel like now being sworn in as an elected MS for Caerdydd Penarth? Has it sunk in quite yet?
It's starting to sink in. This has become the new reality. It's been a whirlwind of a couple of days since I'm swearing the oath on Sunday, but settling in now, it feels where we belong, and looking forward to the first business today.
So how do you feel the campaign went for not just you but for Welsh Greens as a whole?
I'm very proud of the campaign we ran here in Cardiff and across Wales. I think it was the best, the most professional we've ever run. We started good 2 years ago. It's raised our profile across Wales. It's seen our membership more than treble, quadruple even, I think. And the energy and enthusiasm on the campaign was fantastic and really invigorating, with so many new people joining, really keen to campaign. Thousands and thousands of conversations on the doorstep out there. It felt very positive. People responded to us positively. And it's ending with this historic success of getting Green voices into the Senedd. So, while you and Paul Rock are the first ever Green Party representatives in the Senedd history, is there a sense of disappointment considering where polls were putting the Green Party ahead of the election? In no scenario is it disappointing to get 2 Greens elected to the Senedd. I mean, 2 years ago, one was ambitious, and as I said, it's a historic breakthrough. Now, the campaign and the polls throughout the campaign fluctuated. They went from 2 to 4, 7, and even one back in January that said 11 of us. It was a very closely fought campaign. There was a big squeeze towards the end, and I think that the fact that we got 2 people through shows that level of support. We also got our highest ever vote share across Wales. Some brilliant leadless candidates who I'm confident many of them will get here next time. And building on this campaign, we will see really good success in the council elections across Wales next year. Have you had much of a talk with Zach Polanski as of yet about this, how happy he is with the results, or his current mood, especially with the results in England being favourable towards the Green Party as well? Just some WhatsApp conversations, hoping to speak to him in person on the weekend. But yes, he's very ecstatic for us, very supportive. He's been a big supporter of the party in Wales, helped the campaign a lot, and yeah, the mood in the party. It was a weekend that was the vote on Thursday across England and Wales and Scotland was just so good for the Greens. Historic votes in getting the elected mayor in Hackney and Lewisham, taking over councils across England, brilliant results for the Scottish Greens, us breaking through here in Wales. It shows that across these islands, people are excited by what we're offering. So what are you and Paul hoping to achieve as Green Party members of the Senedd? Well, we've been quite clear through the campaign what our priorities were, issues like tackling the cost of living crisis, housing, replacing council tax, and making public transport more affordable and accessible. And these are the things, and also the urgent action needed to tackle the climate and nature crisis. So these are the issues that we'll be focused on here. We're looking forward to pushing the next Welsh Government and working with them where possible on areas of common ground to deliver those changes that the people of Wales are desperate for. So you mentioned working with the next Welsh Government, which is most likely going to be Plaid Cymru. You say that part of the Green Party's ethos is cooperation. Which Green policies are you hoping you can set over through time, through negotiations with other parties and through cooperation? Well, we're talking about, when I say working, that's not presuming working with, it's not presuming any level or whatever that level might be. But it was very welcome to hear Rhys Iorwerth in his victory speech on Friday say that he was looking forward to working with other progressive parties on areas of common ground. So it would be very much in those areas that I've highlighted, the cost of living crisis, nature and climate, and it'll be finding those areas where we can work together and deliver for the people of Wales, but also equally being a critical opposition where we think the Welsh Government might not be doing the right thing.
So you said Rhys Iorwerth, apologies, said he was very happy to work with other progressive parties. Are there any other party leaders that you've spoken to? Does Corporation seem that are they happy with that agenda being set with other parties working together?
I haven't, well, be clear, we haven't spoken to Plaid Cymru either. There have been no discussions with any parties on this so far. I have been clear in the campaign that there are parties we would not work with in any shape or form. Obviously Reform and the Welsh Conservatives, who seem to be a bit of a Reform tribute act at the moment. Our principles don't align, there's no agenda that we would share with them. But otherwise, we'll see what unfolds in the next few weeks.
So one of the proposals in your manifesto, the main point number one, was the abolition of council tax, replacing it with land value tax. Mm-hmm. Is the substitution suitable enough to generate enough funds for government investment?
We don't see that. We don't see replacing the council tax, unfair council tax, with the land value tax as an income generator. It's more or less revenue neutral. It's about redistribution. It's cutting the bills of some of the poorest in society who are paying outrageous rates of council tax and making those wealthy landowners pay a bit more, pay their fair share. So we're not seeing that as an income generator, but it's a matter of redistribution and economic justice.
And Plaid stated throughout their campaign that they will not have a referendum over independence during their first term of government, but instead establish a commission to lay the foundation of Welsh sovereignty. So that kind of have a sort of body set to go. With the Welsh Greens also being in support of independence, with yourself, with Paul Rock, would you vote in favour of the necessary acts to get this commission up and running?
Absolutely support the idea of the commission. We said throughout the campaign as well that we agreed with Plaid Cymru that now wasn't the time for a referendum. A referendum wasn't on the agenda in this election campaign. We need to make people's lives in Wales better first, show them that Wales can work better before starting any sort of constitutional discussions. But yes, the groundwork does need to be done, and I think it's eminently sensible to do that work.
And the big one, do you think the results that we saw in the Senedd election, in the council elections in England, in the Scottish election as well, do you think that we're marking the end of two-party politics in Wales? I
think two-party politics is dead in Wales and across the UK, really. I think the elections showed that.
And are you worried about the rise of far-right parties like Reform, and we've seen it all across Europe as well?
It is deeply worrying. That's why this result was to be so welcomed, that Plaid Cymru did beat Reform quite convincingly. I think, as we've seen in councils across England, when Reform gets elected, we see a lot of incompetence, we see a lot of infighting. So I would hope that this is the peak for Reform in Welsh politics.
Are you expecting infighting to take place in the Senedd as well?
I can't speak for other parties, but I wouldn't be surprised.
And what will you think your time in the Senedd... Sorry, apologies. What will you do with your time in the Senedd to ensure that the voices of Caerdydd Penarth do not go unheard?
It's absolutely vital for me. That is crucial. It's one of the reasons I'm in politics. Now, we worked with communities across Cardiff, multi-faith communities, communities of faith, communities of no faith, and we're here to represent all the people of Cardiff, and we'll continue to do that work, working in our communities and being the voice for those people in the Senedd, making sure their voices and their concerns are heard.
What green policies do you think will best affect the people of Caerdydd Penarth, best, improve the quality of life in that area?
I think our headline of a rent freeze followed by rent control would make a massive difference to so many people's lives.
And final question, look back at your younger days, you were a singer in a punk band in South Africa called Riot Squad SA. Do any skills of being a punk rock singer translate over to your new role in the Senedd?
Yes, that's going to follow me around forever now, isn't it? I think that principle of questioning everything and standing up for fairness and justice, that's what I take from my youth.
I was having a listen of it yesterday, very big fan already, with me and my flatmates. So, Anthony Slaughter, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
That was Anthony Slaughter, MS for Caerdydd Penarth, speaking to Bro Radio's Oliver Perry. And as we mentioned, Rhys Iorwerth was elected as First Minister of Wales yesterday during the first meeting of the Senedd. Today, Plaid Cymru have announced their roles and ministers. Sianed Williams, AS, will be Deputy First Minister and Cabinet Minister for Social Justice. And former presiding officer Ellen Jones will be Cabinet Minister for Finance. Helen Vucken, AS, will take over as Minister for Culture and Sport. Meanwhile, locally in the Vale of Glamorgan, Anna Brucken, MS for Caerdydd Penarth, will be Cabinet Minister for Education and the Welsh language, whilst Penabont Bro Morgannog MS, Mark Hooper, will take on the role of Deputy Minister for Transport. You can see the full details on the news pages right now at broradio.fm. You're listening to The Vale This Week from Bro Radio. Penarth Operatic and Dramatic Society is back at the Paget Rooms for their latest production, We Will Rock You, up to the 16th of May. Bro Radio's Chris Birch recently caught up with cast member Paul Mellin to find out more about the show.
The show is We Will Rock You, the Queen musical. And we open on the 13th of May in the Paget Rooms, as you say, in Penarth.
Not long.
No, not long away. I think a couple of weeks now, so it's getting very close. Yeah, it's a crazy, wild show that's just sure to get everybody in a good mood. It's one of those real feel-good shows, you know?
It's one of those shows that's become iconic. And obviously it's got all the iconic music in it, I assume. But the story is nothing to do with Queen whatsoever, is it?
No. The story was written by Ben Elton, so the comedian and writer Ben Elton. So he wrote the story with the guys from Queen some 20 years ago or something now. And yeah, the story is nothing to do with Queen at all originally. So it's set in a sort of dystopian future where rock music has been outlawed and banned. So basically, it's quite really in today's society that the internet is sort of taking over the world, and the kids and everybody have become immersed in the internet, and free thinking and artistic endeavors such as music have been outlawed, and the purpose of the show is for a dreamer. They call this kid the dreamer, who's this rebel who breaks free to try and bring back music. So there's a group called the Bohemians, which obviously, you know, Queen, there's the link there. So they're a rebel freedom fighting group that are trying to break free from this society of the internet and being programmed into everything to bring back rock music to the masses. And yeah, it's a real funny, crazy story. It doesn't make a lot of sense a lot of the time, but it doesn't really matter because it's a way of telling the story through Queen songs. And as you say, it is full of Queen songs. I think there's over 20 songs from Queen in the show.
Wow.
And, you know, if you know those songs and you love that music, it's just a brilliant show.
So yeah, tell me who you play and what part you are and where you sit amongst the story.
There's, I think, 7 or 8 principal characters in the show. So I play one of those. So I play a character called Buddy, who was originally called Pop in the original version for some reason. I don't know why they changed the name, but they have. Anyway, he's an older Bohemian. So he's one of the sort of the rebel freedom fighters, and he's one of the leaders of that group. But he's this sort of an aging hippie kind of dreaming rock and roller. And yeah, he kind of runs this group of rebels, I suppose. And it's just a funny kind of, it's a comedy role, really. It's a nice little part. I'm getting the older parts now. So yeah, I play that kind of character. But the story revolves around the 2 leads, really, which is Galileo, again, from, if you know your Queen, you'll know where that comes from. And Scaramouche, again. There's no hiding where their influences are in this. And they're these 2 young rebels, I suppose, these outcasts from the society that go on this adventure to discover rock and roll. So the Galileo is this, what they call the dreamer, is the chosen one, who's the one that dreams all these words and these songs from past historical rock and roll songs. So he's the one that they call the chosen one. He's the one that's going to bring back rock and roll. So it's his journey to break him free and bringing back music to the masses.
And PODS, obviously, over 100 years old now. I mean, so must clearly be doing something right.
Oh, absolutely. We're very lucky, I think, as a society that, you know, we've got that history, we've got that sort of prestige, but also that they're continuing to deliver incredible performances and incredible shows. And we're very lucky to have the likes of Fiona Porter-Smith, who's the director, to be directing this show, because she's directed POD's last 5 or 6 musicals, and she wins the awards every year for the show she puts on. But also we've got like Andy Bradshaw, who does our costumes and our sets for us, and design. And he's a BAFTA winner. He's at that standard. So you come and watch a pod, so you see in a real professional production on a stage, a fraction of the price of what you'd pay at the Millennium Centre or anywhere like that.
Brilliant. When is it happening? When can I come and see it?
So we open on the 13th of May, and we've got 5 shows, including a matinee on Saturday. So, 13th to 16th, I believe. There's not that many tickets left for some of the shows. I know that Friday is almost sold out completely already. Wow. Best available, I think, is the Wednesday and the Saturday matinee at the moment, but they are all filling up. So if you do want to come along, I would advise you to try and get your tickets as soon as possible.
That was Paul Mellin from Penarth Operatic and Dramatic Society with We Will Rock You at the Paget Rooms until the 16th of May. You're listening to The Vale This Week from Bro Radio. Now, it's a busy weekend for events in the Vale of Glamorgan with Gwyl Fach Fro, or the Barry Island 10K and Barry Card and Collecticon. I caught up with Glyn from Barry Card and Collecticon a couple of weeks ago to find out more about the event. Glyn, firstly, thank you for coming in and chatting to us about Barry Card and Collecticon. Thank you very much.
Thanks for inviting me in, Nathan. I appreciate it.
So, we'll remember this event from 2 years ago now, starting off at the Memo Arts Centre. Take us back and how kind of that event first came about.
So 2024, I mean, that seems a long time away, but that was done with a group of friends who wanted to put together a Comic-Con in Barry. I think we've always said that Barry lends itself very well to wanting an event like this. There's a lot of people that want to meet famous people, and it's been location for a lot of Doctor Who and other things being filmed. So we decided to put one on, and it was extremely successful. I think everybody who went there, you yourself was there included, and we just had a lot of kickback asking about when the next one was going to be.
And now we're 2 years later, having a gap last year, now back in Barry at the Memo Arts Centre this May. So tell us about preparations for this year's event, first of all.
So this year's event, we wanted it to be different. We wanted it to be bigger and better. So we started within the gap year. We started the idea of just rebranding, because we wanted it to be more. Again, we just wanted to be more Barry based. So what we did was we decided to rebrand as the Barry Card and Collecticon, or B3C, as we're gonna know as that's the catchy title for it. Our intention is to do one every year. And we wanted to go bigger and better. So even though we're still at the same location of the Memo, which is a great place to do the con anyway, and they're super helpful, we reached out to some guest stars that are really, really, punching above our weight. These are the guest stars you'd see in Cardiff or London or any of the other Comic Cons, and we've got them in Barry.
And there's a great mix there. You've got people from Red Dwarf, Doctor Who, kind of working behind the scenes, artists as well, and of course a guest from Gavin and Stacey. So a wide range of people with varying different interests.
That was exactly that. That was the point. We wanted it to be eclectic. I mean, we've got people, for example, we've got Hugo Mayat, from anybody who's Gen Xer like myself, who remembers the 80s, and the 80s was a nightmare, which was always done on green screen, and you wore that, the hat, the helmet, where kids were controlling the, one of the kids. Basically, Hugo Mayat, who played Traegar, he's coming along, and he's what we call a deep cut, but a welcome one, because there are a lot of people out there who are still fans and who are fans of that genre. So yeah, we've got some amazing guests and some brilliant artists as well.
And for this as well, more than just the special guests, there's lots of things going on around it as well. So it's not just the special guests. There's lots of activities and things to do, to buy, to see, to get involved in.
Exactly. So where we're trying to differ from other conventions is that we want it to be a very community-based as well. So we've got a lot of Barry traders that are turning up, people. We've got some authors that are Barry-based. Events-wise as well, we've got Dinomania turning up on Sunday. Only there will be dinosaurs walking around the Memo, whether it's the big or the large ones or the small ones. We will have face painters. There'll be cosplayers and cosplay competition. And there will be some other little activities to be announced. But all in all, we want to make sure that when you go there, there's a lot for you to see and do.
So it's all taking place on the 16th and 17th of May. You mentioned the Memo Arts Centre. How can people find out more, get tickets and everything else?
So you can get the tickets to you can go one or two places. You can either go directly to the Memo themselves and get tickets for the both days. So it's £20 for one day. If you want to do the weekend, it's 30. So you go to the Memo Arts Centre's website. You can go to their socials, or you can and go directly in there and pick them up from the box office. Or the other way of doing it as well is go to Fatsuma, which is the online ticket portal. On that portal, you can get although you can get the tickets, you can also get the guests' photo opportunities. So what I mean by that is we are offering, the ability to have your photo taken with a guest. And what will happen, as like other conventions like London, you can get a ticket and have your photo opportunity, with whatever guest that you want from the roster.
And for maybe someone who's listening who's maybe not come to an event like this, maybe is a fan of Red Dwarf or Doctor Who, never been to one before, what can they expect? Why should they come along?
So the good thing with these events, there's a lot of like-minded people like you. So if ever, if you're and I use this term loosely, geek, or if you're into anything sci-fi, or even if you've never been to one before and you thought, well, I don't really want to travel to Cardiff or any of the other events, Barry is the one, because it's a good starting place, because we offer a lot more things to do. We offer our traders, but also you can go and meet the guests. I mean, they offer autographs and selfies again, at their own cost. They will also charge you, but the good thing is you can meet them there, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of interaction during the day, like there was in 2024.
That was Glyn, one of the organisers of Barry Card and Collecticon. That's taking place at Barry's Memo Arts Centre this Saturday and Sunday. Another event taking place this weekend is Gwyl Fach, the Welsh Language Music Festival. And earlier today, I caught up with Aled from the festival to find out more about what's on offer.
Well, primarily it's a Welsh language festival, but obviously it's inclusive. Everybody's welcome to come along. It celebrated its 10th anniversary last year, and we had somewhere in the region of about 8,000 to 9,000 people attending throughout the whole day. So what it is basically, it's a combination of live music. There's a dedicated area for kids to perform from their various schools. And there's some places to play, and we got street food and craft stalls. It's a bar, of course. So it's very much a family-orientated thing, and people come to see some live bands, and we tend to get some pretty good headline Welsh language bands playing there. And people really enjoy the whole day. It's a fantastic day of sunshine last year, as it happens. So we're quite excited about coming back to Bali Island again this year. And it's going to be slightly bigger in its size. We've got more bands playing. We've introduced a new stage area, which is like a Q&A area where we're discussing sort of panel sessions. We've got podcast sessions being recorded. There's a dedicated kids area there. And we're also putting on an after party for the first time ever. It's going to be a fairly early after party, but we've got a band playing in View 62, which is right across the road, just under the fun fair there. So it's all promising at the moment, anyway.
And I think from how you describe it there, it sounds like, I guess, bringing some of the best bits of what people would know from something like an Eisteddfod, I guess, to Barry Island for people to experience loads of different arts and culture, but on like a hyper-local level focused on Barry.
It is a hyper-local level, because if you look at the schools who are performing there, we've got schools from Cowbridge, from Barry, from Penarth, who perform there throughout the day. We've got some local choirs who sing on that particular stage. But then in terms of the main stage itself, it's a makeup of some local bands, and we've got some bands travelling down from North Wales who have made a mark over the last few years in the Welsh language scene. So I emphasise it's although it's Welsh language, it is really inclusive, because it's got a fantastic backdrop, which is the sea itself. Valley Island is a fun place to be. And, I think there's something for all the taste buds, really, from food through to music.
And it's all about being inclusive there. Some people may hear this and maybe worry, well, I'm not a massive Welsh speaker, or maybe I can speak a minimum amount of Welsh. But I guess it's open for everyone to come, no matter their kind of understanding of the language.
Well, it's a free event to begin with, and it's in a public space, so there's no ticketing involved, so you don't have to sort of queue for a long time. And what we really like, really, people who enjoy Bali Island anyway, people go there for the beach or take the dogs for a walk or whatever. Some of them just love it. They stop there and come across this sort of event which they've never heard of, and they sort of chill out with us for a little while and buy a little ice cream and or a beer or whatever. And this year is quite exciting because obviously you mentioned, there's the 10K run taking place on Sunday. So we've been working very closely with Run for Wales, who are organising that, and we're quite excited in a way that we're sharing some of the tentage and whatever. So on the Sunday, Gwyl Fach are curating some music on our stage, particularly just for that 10K run. So it's a way for us to um, extend our sort of offering to a second day, but it's obviously, we've got nothing to do with the racing and all the excitement of getting all the supporters there. But, we've got about 6 or 7 acts taking place, again, from schools to bands. Even if you recall back in the St. David's Day celebrations outside Barry Town Hall, we got the ukulele orchestra back again to do a sort of half an hour set there. So it's quite eclectic. It's meant to be fun, and I think the collaboration with the 10K has really worked well for us up until now.
Well, it sounds like a great weekend of activities for people to enjoy. Where can people find out more about the lineup and what's going on across the event?
We're across our socials. The event is being organised by Mentor Bro Morgan, which we set up to sort of promote the Welsh language outside of formal sort of learning activities. So, we sort of organise gigs, quizzes and things like that, play schemes for kids throughout the year. So just look out for Mentor Bro Morganwg, and we're there on the website. So that the lineup should be there somewhere for people to see. But even if you don't look at that, just come along, enjoy it from 11 o'clock in the morning, and it finishes about 8. That's the after party afterwards, of course.
That was Aled Gwyn Phillips from Gwyl Fach Fro, which has taken over Barry Island on Saturday, extending to Sunday as well to provide entertainment around the Barry Island 10K. And Mike from Monday Night Sport caught up with Anna Verdon from Run for Wales earlier this week to find out about the Barry Island 10K and what's going to be taking place.
So it's the 6th edition. It started in 2018, but then we had a bit of break for COVID and other things. So yeah, we're back. We were back last year after a little bit of break, and people really, so many people signed up and came and loved it. We're up to 4,500 runners now, which is fantastic. And yeah, it's quite a hilly course, but people seem to love it and love the atmosphere.
Yeah, it's I was going through the course, and there are some nice flat bits, but there's a few hills that are going to be testing for the competitors on the day, I think.
There really are, but as I say, something I'm not a runner myself, but people seem to love that, and the kind of, the interest really, and it takes in quite a lot of the town's most scenic seaside spots, and regenerated retail area, historic Barry Dock, the Nap, Bromley Park, Watchhouse Bay, Whitmore Bay. So it's beautiful. It takes a lot of the site that Barry's got to offer.
Take us back to when it first sort of Barry Island. When did that first idea come from?
So first started in 2018. So we got lots of races here at Run for Wales, and we wanted to add a 10K to our portfolio. So yeah, wanted to do something really in an interesting location. We've also got the Porthcawl 10K as well. So it's really nice to have 2 seaside 10Ks that form part of the 10K series, along with Newport Marathon 10K, Newport Marathon Festival 10K. So yeah, it's great, and we've had such great support from the locals, including the council, and we have some great spots as well, including Cancer Research Wales. So they're the lead charity partner, and they've got 125 runners running to fundraise to help their cause, which is the only charity wholly dedicated to funding cancer research in Wales for Wales and supporting the best cancer researchers and clinicians to make pioneering discoveries to help transform the lives of cancer patients. So it's fantastic to have them and other charities involved as well, and it really adds to the whole atmosphere of the day.
Yeah, and you say about that. I mean, there's always so many people running for so many different charities, and I wouldn't even like to put a figure on how much money that is raised for charities from these events. And Run for Wales sort of facilitate all this money going into various charities by putting these events on. So, I mean, that's going to give you a warm fuzzy feeling.
It really does. And yeah, there's just so many charities of all different sizes. And it's brilliant to be working with them on each event, really. And it's fantastic. I mean, watched the London Marathon on the telly. I'm normally there, but I didn't go this year to work. So I was watching on the telly, and it's just so uplifting stories. And it's the same with our event. Just there's so many lovely reasons that people are running, and reasons close to their heart, sometimes very sad things as well, that people do this to raise money. And it's as you say, it's really heartwarming, and it's really impressive as well. Some of the stories that people have got and reasons for doing this, and also businesses can get involved in terms of the business challenge. So they fight to be crowned the fastest community or corporate group. So that really takes off as well, with a bit of competitive spirit there. And we've got some fantastic medals and a vibrant coral T-shirt this year, which people will love to wear, I think. And it features the area's infamous seagulls. So yeah, it's always lovely to see those on the day, but then also people running around in them at park runs and all sorts afterwards. Yeah,
and it's great. And I've been down there as a spectator before, and it's always a fantastic event, even for a spectator as well. It really is. It really is. I always say it's a good day out. And down there. And if you don't want to do the 10K, you've got slightly smaller running events on as well.
Yeah, so you've got junior event. So we've got the toddler dash, which is really cute for those aged 3 and under. And then we've also got the future challengers races, and they're 1 mile long, and they're for more serious kind of youngsters that like running. And then we've also got what else have we got? The fun run, which is again 1 mile, and that starts at the main gantry, so they get the starting theory, and then it goes on to the prom, and then back. So yeah, that's really, really fun. And they kick off after the 10K has finished, about 12:30.
But I just want to say, Rachel, thank you for coming in and speaking to me about this.
No problem.
Okay. I'd say to anybody, it starts from 10 o'clock. The 10K starts at 10 o'clock. And there are some good vantage points to see it from. So if you don't make it down straight away to the island, you can go to Romney Park where the that's about halfway point. And if you've got people running it, I'm sure they would appreciate a little cheer at the halfway.
Yeah, definitely. Another nice spot is Washhouse Bay. So people, the runners go there as well. The participants go there. And then also we've got the ship at the 8K point where people might need a bit of a boost. So yeah, that's a really good point. And then also up on the headland. So that just if people are coming into the finish area. So that's a really good spot as well. So there's lots and lots of areas to support runners. And then before that, all along for the Millennium.
Yeah.
So, hopefully the residents will come out there and cheer people on. And then the docks office. But we're really hoping for, docks building. We're really hoping for good weather. Yeah. It's looking a little bit iffy at the moment, but we've still got a few days to go, so we'll see.
That was Anna Verdon from Run for Wales talking about this weekend's Barry Island 10K. You can find out more about some of the road closures in place on Sunday morning by searching for Barry Island 10K online. And that was the Vale This Week from Bro Radio. As always, if you've got a news story, event or issue that you'd like to share, get in touch with us via news@broradio.fm. You can hear us on Bro Radio each Wednesday from 7 p.m. or listen anytime by searching for Vale This Week where you get your podcasts.